Hello, hello. John Ruman here, International Business Coaching Consultant. Today I'm going to show you how you can save 3 hours or more in your business every single day. I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to show you the steps, and I'm going to show you how you can do this for your business. If we have not met before, let me introduce myself. I'm an international business coach and consultant. I have a firm out of the US called JJR Global. And what I do is I show business owners that struggle to reach goals how to achieve them by leveraging accountability, and this helps them move forward. I also help them with strategic brainstorming so they can overcome the next obstacle that comes in the way. And hey, Tom. And last but not least, and that's what we're talking about today, I actually help them to implement written processes and systems that will make it such that any task they do more than once, they never have to go through the brain power of creating that again. And in the process, I help them to either partially or fully automate that. So if you own a business, what I will be showing you today will probably make you more money than almost anything I can show you. Why? Because today you're going to create lost time, wasted time, and trust me, your team will love you for everything that happens today. That's my promise to you. I like to exceed expectations of whatever you have and then blow them out of the water. So, when I began coaching full time, I would help people with their processes and systems. And I would do this, and I'm good at it because I'm a total geek and I have a really good brain for problem solving. So, hey, for some reason my mirror is backwards. So, all right, I'm back. Whew. Thank you, Tom. So, with that, what I like to do is I show people how to do this. So, let me explain what I was going through, and I'll put it on here. So, when I would meet someone, here's what John would do. This is what I did when I began coaching and what I would help other people overcome, but I wasn't doing it myself until I implemented. So let me tell you what I did. So when I would meet with you, pretend you're my client, I would handwrite our notes. I'd say, hey, whatever the important things are, your challenges, things that I need to remember that are key for you, how we can really help you propel. And I would take these diligent handwritten notes. And there's a couple problems with that straight off. One, if you have ever seen me in front of a group, like in a workshop, I love to do workshops, have me, I'm an incredible presenter, but my lowest skill set is not my penmanship. So I couldn't always read what I was writing, because when you're writing notes quickly, they don't convey as well on paper, especially if you are as brilliant a penmanship artist as myself. So that being said, what I did was, all right, so I'll go through how I fixed these issues. So I would handwrite this, and then when I was done with the meeting, I would review my notes and I would type it up beautifully. I'd have a task section. I send people a link to a private video and a private audio link so they could listen to it later. So it's really great for those that are on. So those who coach with me love it. It was great. But it took me forever to create these things, and I had to create a folder for them if it was the first time coaching with me. And then I would go through all these steps, and finally I'd send the email. So the time it took me from taking, if you're watching on Facebook, you see the list. So the time from those handwritten notes and tasks, writing the email, everything only was created was signature, creating a folder, uploading these to a secure place, creating a private link. All these steps took roughly 25 minutes. I timed it because I knew I could do something better. And here's my promise to you. When we're done today, you'll be like, wow, you can do something better. So what I was able to end up doing is that 25 minutes, I just round to a half hour, because sometimes it took 45 minutes to do these. So my average is 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Is I got it down to between 90 seconds, most are about 90 seconds, to as long as 3 minutes. And I would average on a coaching day 6 coaching sessions a day. So I'd have 6 coaching sessions. I would spend a half hour doing this for every coaching session, and I would spend 3 hours in note taking. Take that in for a second. 6 hours of coaching, 3 hours post getting stuff ready. And that may be valuable and it may be the best use of my time, but I realized I'm wasting my time. I'm helping people like you overcome this. Why can't I do that? So what I did is I took people through what I take them through. You know how it's not always easy to do the thing that you tell people to do? So I said, screw it, let's do it. And that's what I did. So what I did, and here I want everyone who's watching, who is not driving and doesn't have their face full of food right now. If you do, I hope it's delicious, right? What I would ask you to do, get a pen and paper, and it's going to be a few simple steps that I'm going to ask you to do now so you can actually implement this in your own business, take it to where you want to go, and at least start the process. We're not going to go deep, but we'll hit it and you'll understand the concept. And then what I'll do is I'll actually do a quick software demo of some of the tools that I use that actually help people do this as well, because some of this can be automated. So, all right. Okay. So, first question, what do you do as a business? And if you have a personal, if you're watching this, I own a small company, it's just me. This is ideal for you. What are you finding yourself doing every day, every week, every month, every quarter, or year? My rule is simply this. If you do something once a year or more, you can build a written process around it. So obviously that's going to be a lot of processes, from sales to advertising to writing emails to, let's say, what I was doing, my post coaching session and consulting session emails. And but what do you do? So I want you to write down a couple right now, like 5. So I'll give you 30 seconds to write 5 of these down and 20 seconds. I'll give you just a moment longer. And by the way, if you're on, please share this. People really would love to see this, although they'll usually see it later. It's always nice to catch on when it's live. Okay, good. So I need you to write 5 minimum. Just let me know in the comments section, done, when you're done. And I'll wait for them. Good. Great. Good. So get your 5 written. And now, so the first thing you need to know is what the heck am I doing now before we can actually really make a quick analysis of it. So then what you're going to do is take a moment to write out the steps that coincide with those things you do weekly, daily. Again, with the top 5, it could be daily things, could be weekly thing. It's going to be a very quick list for most of you. Come on, book of 5 should be weekly. So now on those 5, maybe just do an arrow to the right, and then, I do this, 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 and this. So if it's not like 20 steps, try to draw like 4 or 5 or less steps per each. And if it feels like we're doing too much because we don't have a lot of time, that's okay. Just do 1 or 2, but I want 5 steps or so for each of these tasks. And it can be less. But what you're going to find is that it's often more, but that's okay. Steps are not a bad thing. So what are the 5 steps? You saw my steps. So these were my steps. What are your steps? I'll give you about 60 more seconds. Hey, Raju, you're going to absolutely love today's live, brother. So Raju, you're a little behind, but that's okay. I'll give you the quick rundown. Very quickly, it's going to be what are things that you do daily now, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, consistently. And then of those, when you do them, which ones, so write them down. So just write down 5. And since we're short on time and you're watching this while other people are writing down, write down your top 1 that you do on a regular, consistent basis, and write down 5 sub-steps that you do. Or so, 3 to 5. You could do 10 steps, but write them down. Now everyone else will be a little ahead of you, but that's okay. Now what I want you to do is write down, can any of these be automated or delegated? In other words, is there a possibility that software can do some or all of this for you? And what I'm going to introduce to you in a minute is kind of a demo of actually how I did most of what we're talking about with the automation and delegation. So it's very, very, very cool. So can any of these be automated or delegated? So just write a big A or big D on there and you can put that there. So automated or delegated. This should take just a second. These are on the sub steps, not on the main thing. So for example, this is my steps of these. And then what I'll do is I'll show you how I did what I did with these on the other thing. So for example, I'll tell you one thing I did. So you see where it said handwrite notes and tasks on mine? I started as the meeting was going on using the keyboard and writing the email while I was in the meeting. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? That would be a fair amount of the time wasted would be me writing my notes cleanly. So now I do it during the meeting and I'm much more fresh. I've become a much more efficient typer. And I can always read what I write. So I never want to miss what I'm writing for someone because I know it can literally change the life of their business and every word really matters. So I don't take that lightly. So it was a very big plus for me and a huge time saver. Okay, I also, let me tell you what else I did. So besides handwriting them, I used to actually write the email. So I used to write, my buddy Raju's on. Pretend Raju and he and I have a client relationship. So I'm like, hey, my client, Mr. Client, we'll call him Mr. Raju because you're on Instagram there. What's up, Raju? I'll say, hey, what's up, Raju? And I would actually go through my email. Hey, Gavin. And I would actually go through the emails and typewrite each thing. I would write the tasks, I'd write these links to the audio and video, and I would write the notes. The only thing that I had pre-made as a template was my signature, which you probably all have on your emails now. And if you don't, please get that. Don't ever finish your email, regards, John. Have it regards, this beautiful, powerful signature that they can find you on all your social media channels. It looks professional, etc. Okay? All right. So now, dogs. Okay, so then I would do that. And then, I created a template for the email. So it was clean and actually addressed what the client needed first. So it actually was great because the client got what they needed first versus what mattered to John most. So I actually recreated the order and everything when I created the template for the email. Then I would have an automation create the folder for the client. I'll show you that in a second. And I created a system around naming folders so they would automatically go to people and then I would send this email. So again, 25 to 30 minutes down to 90 seconds. So let me now, I'm going to show you two tools right now. And that's this last step. I'm going to demo something called IFTTT and Zapier. So before I finish, I'm going to give you a couple things to think about. Most of you, because I'm on multiple streams right now, have a Facebook account. And you know how it says every morning, hey, 5 of your friends have a birthday today. And you spend every day, and you could have a very unique way of saying it. You're a blessing in my life. Thank you for being you. Have an awesome day, whatever it is, right? So you send this and you type it every day and it feels good. Don't get me wrong. But how much time in a year do you spend doing that? Pretend you have 5 friends a day, 365 days a year, 15 minutes time, 10 minutes time, 5 minutes time. I don't know. I don't know if you're a fast typer or if you copy and paste the same thing or make something unique. You may feel that it's your best use of time, or you may feel it's a total waste of time. I'll give you one other easy example. New Year's. You're at an awesome lime party, fete, wherever you are. You're having an awesome time. For those of you watching internationally in Trinidad, limes are parties. So you're having an awesome time, and it's midnight, and you want to wish your friends happy birthday. Do you go to your phone and say, not happy birthday, excuse me. Happy New Year, everyone. You can, of course. Of course you can. Of course you can. But you can also automate it. It's okay. So those are quick, 2 easy examples, and then I'll show you. So you need to write these down. So IFTTT, I hope you've taken note of that. IFTTT is one. Now this is John's desktop. And here we are. So this is the program. All right. It's called ifttt.com. And IFTTT stands for if this, then that. And let me take off one thing on my desktop for you, make it a little bit easier for you. Okay. Now, if this, then that, I'll give you an example. So, this one right here. Imagine you make a call on your phone and you have an Android phone. Wouldn't it be nice if every single phone you or someone on your team called could be backed up and logged? They made a 5-minute phone call to this person. Can you imagine how wonderful that would be? Are any of you in sales? And right now you just don't track things very well? You can unbelievably make that happen. Okay, I'll tell you, so the two I gave you of the birthday, my thing will automatically send happy birthday. I turned it off, by the way, because I got all these messages saying, hey, thanks for happy birthday. IFTTT. Yes, correct, Raju. IFTTT.com. And if this, then that. IFTTT.com. So you can, on there, automate happy birthday. You can automate happy new year. It's designed for smart homes. So if you have a smartphone and you have this set up on your system, you can walk into your house and mood lighting can come on. All the front gates. So before you leave your car, it will talk to the device you have in your home and it will turn on, let's say, the lights in your front door. And you can have it so just, certain lights are turned on, even certain music turned on if you have those systems set up. But it doesn't require this fancy stuff. You can literally spend almost nothing on these lights and they can talk to these systems via your Wi-Fi router and you're golden. You literally arrive home. Before you get out of your car, your phone talks to this system, it turns on the lights, and you're home and everything's lit up and you're in a well-lit, safe place. That's just a small example. But I use it for happy birthdays, or I used to. I still use it for the Happy New Year. So many, many, many options that you can use. So it's very, very unbelievably time-saving, but it's got so many different applications. I don't want to go into it in depth now because the next tool I'm about to show you will rock your socks off. So ready? So the next one is called Zapier. ZAPIER.com. Zapier. So let me tell you, because it may look a little complex here. So, and I got to minimize some stuff on my screen. Okay. So I would have someone come in as a new contact, me or someone on my team. Hey, Nilash, would come in as a contact, and then it would tell my team contact this person. So that's if you're on Facebook, you'd see that tag. It says add tag to contact, which would be contact this person. And by the way, this program I'm using would also, if that person didn't get contacted or have the tag removed within a certain time frame, I would get an alert that that person had not had that tag removed. Okay. I have here create another record for another. I have 2 CRMs currently, so I'm moving from one to the other. Okay. Find or create contact. Has anyone here ever found it to be a pain in the you-know-what to add a phone number every time and the person's email and their number to your phone, to your WhatsApp, all that kind of good stuff? Of course you have. It's a pain in the... So what I do is I have a Zapier created that would put their phone in my phone, their contact in my phone, in my assistant's phone, and therefore WhatsApp, and they wouldn't have to type in or look for, put in numbers and all kind of stuff. Again, all these things add up. Now you see, I would have it create a folder, so that person would have a private folder when the meeting was done. I would have them added to a certain newsletter for email marketing. And there were a few other things I did, but let me rehash. So let me tell you what Zapier is. Zapier is when a certain trigger is met. This trigger. So the trigger would be new contact in my CRM database. And CRM database, if you don't know what that is, think Excel spreadsheet on steroids that allows you to do a heck of a lot more than just Spreadsheeting allows you to track people, when do you last call them, remind you, etc. So that's what a CRM does. So my CRM would then do all these things. So it would be the trigger to be to the CRM new contact, and all these things would happen in the background. And the great thing is almost every single program that you use has a connection to Zapier. Now I need to be open here. Zapier has a free account which allows you, I think, 5 single step zaps, they call them, ZAPS. And a zap would be new contact and then maybe add it to your phone. That would be one. New contact, add them to this email list. That would be two. But the point is, even with 5 single step zaps, you can save yourself a huge amount of time. And if you are not a technically savvy person, nor if you like this stuff, nor if you really want to get into this and all that kind of good stuff, I love this stuff. I love setting these things up, and I love helping people problem solve how to do it. That's why if you heard my what I do in the beginning of this live today, this is fun for me. And that's just the way my mind works. So I love helping people save time, helps them save money. A lot of people save so much time they actually think that they can they can actually either hire, I mean, basically have like an extra person that they were paying for admin tasks that they don't have to pay anymore. So they either drop that person or they have that person do more for them than they were doing. I would encourage you leverage that person for other things and let them go, because they probably have a lot more added value than you think, because most people that once they're in your company, they've gone through a hiring process, and that costs a lot of time and money to rehire someone. So it's better to train an existing person on new things than hire fresh. Anjani asks, can it link to LionDesk? Great question. Anjani, you'll be my first question on this. If anyone else has any questions on Zapier, let me know. I use Zapier all the time. So hold on one sec. All right, so now this is my list of my zaps. I have a whole bunch of them, but let me look to see. So if I click apps, so again, Zapier.com. And by the way, I know many of you are not technically savvy, and that's why I'm very busy helping people with this. But if you are, I mean, literally within a day or two, you can save yourself so much time. And if not, that's why people like me are around, because for me, again, this is fun. Okay, LionDesk. I'm going to look up Lion Anjani. Let's see if that comes up. LionDesk. It's in beta. So LionDesk does work. So there you go. So you can use that. Anyone else have any questions? That was a great question. Most programs want to be part of Zapier. By the way, there are a couple other automation programs. One is called Zoho, Z-O-H-O. And Zoho has their own, they kind of want to be the next Google with 1,000,001 apps on their program, their platform. So they have like an automation thing. It's very young, but it can do some of these things too. So if you're looking to automate IFTTT, as I showed you, Zapier is really the main one, and Zoho also has the ability with outside apps. With that being said, if you have someone who's very technical on your team, there's something called a web hook. And for those of you who are not technical, don't worry about it. But a web hook is kind of like the similar thing of what these things are actually doing in the background, but Zapier made it easier. And the great thing is once you use Zapier, their team will help you with the team. So Anjani, for example, you're using LionDesk. They will help you. LionDesk will, but so will Zapier to help you to use this and use it more effectively. And ask, by the way, Anjani, always. So if you're trying to say, I want to do this with my LionDesk, how can I do that? I would be constantly hitting your LionDesk support team, because trust me, you're not the only one asking. And if you're kind of on them, they'll add it. It's usually not a big deal to add little things to automation or within the CRM. So And let me just browse here real quick. So just to show you some of the apps that you can use. So for example, Google Sheets, Slack, MailChimp, Google Contacts, Twitter. So you can have a post go to Twitter, go to Instagram all at the same time. If you have a form online, you can have the form auto go to other places. It's powerful. Absolutely powerful. So I want to, if anyone has any last questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I'll give you just a moment. But I wanted to thank you for your time today. I'm going to take a quick review of what happened. So I started with this awful list, handwriting, all that kind of stuff, write out my emails in full, creating the folder. I showed you how I did that. And I actually, naming every audio and video file, I copied the subject I had from the email and pasted that into my rename for those people. So literally almost half of my time I do is actually renaming those files. So I went from 25 minutes to 90 seconds. So any of you who are clients, that's how long it takes when I'm done, most times, to get the email out to you. And again, it used to take me a half hour, 25 when I was really, really, really focused. So, but the point is of this live is these are the steps. And assuming you do these things, you can accomplish magic in your business, because most of us repeat things that are a total waste of our time, total admin, that should never have to be done twice. And even if it has to be done twice, you still need to write it down, because there's always a better way of doing it. You also spend your brain energy creating it. So each one of these daily, monthly, quarterly, etc. tasks that you make, each one of them requires you and your team to come up with the plan for getting to work. So if you have the plan for coming up with a Instagram post, for example, you do this, 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 and this. You need to make sure that you have a plan for that written down, and it's literally a checkbox system. Okay, so I'm gonna get going because I got some noise outside. But if you have any questions, shoot me a message here. If you need help with this on your own business, I would love to help you, because one of my biggest joys is to help people automate their business, scale to heights they never thought possible, and help you to achieve magic in your life that is often the reason for people actually creating the business in the first place. So have an awesome rest of your day. I appreciate your time.